Alright, hey, it's Eric from Shuckabuck, and in this video I want to talk about the two strategies to sell print-on-demand products. These are the only two strategies that I recommend. As you'll see in the next video, I'm going to talk a little bit about Facebook ads, and I want to go over my opinion on that and my experience in with using Facebook ads. So I'll get to that in the next video in this course. But first I want to talk about the two strategies that work really well. And the first one is using Etsy and Amazon, and this is kind of what I call the organic sales method, meaning you don't need any advertising dollars. You simply upload products and then you're going to get sales by people searching for keywords related to your listings. So let's say that you are selling a t-shirt on Etsy and or Amazon, and it's something like a Bigfoot t-shirt, like a Sasquatch type thing, and if someone types in Bigfoot t-shirt and they find yours and they see it and they like it and they buy it, you're going to get the profit from that. So with Merch by Amazon, you're going to get a royalty, and that's calculated when you upload your designs. Normally a $20 shirt, you're going to make around $5. On Etsy, you can price your own shirts as high as you want, but normally you're going to make around $8 per sale on Etsy. Etsy does have less traffic than Amazon, which is why I always, if you're going to go the organic route, Etsy and Amazon are probably the two biggest platforms that you need to worry about. I think a lot of you who are starting want to upload to Redbubble, you want to upload to Zazzle, you want to upload to all these other platforms, even Teespring, and you really don't need all that. At the end of this video, you're going to see why you don't need that, specifically why you don't need that. And if you can't sell on Amazon and if you can't sell on Etsy, of course, go into another platform. But just to let you know that these two platforms, Etsy and Amazon, have probably 95% of the traffic for e-commerce. So, and I'm just making that up off the top of my head. It could be like 80% of the traffic or something like that. But they have a ton of it. So if you want to sell organically without using advertising dollars, have a more simpler business, then use Etsy and Amazon. I'll get into these, the good and the bad of both of these here in a second, but I want to talk about the branding model too. So this is basically where you're building an audience, you're getting them to know, like, and trust your brand, and then you're selling them stuff. And that could be anything. It doesn't have to be print-on-demand products. It could be, print-on-demand products is one of them, yes. It could be books, it could be digital downloads like ebooks and video courses like this one, or audio files that they download, or documents that they download, or images that they download. So templates can go into this category. So it could be a lot of things. You could also do affiliate marketing this way. So you're recommending other people's products for a commission. So I think branding is definitely something that I've done throughout my entire, online business career, and it's worked really well for me. And I actually do both of these methods. So I'm at a point in my business. I've been doing this for almost 12 years now. So 12 years I've been doing branding, and then recently I've gotten into Etsy and Amazon the last few years. But I've done both of these models and they both work really well. And there's one thing I want to tell you is that you do want to choose one of these methods. You don't want to do both of them at the same time, especially when you're starting out. So I'm going to go through Etsy and Merch by Amazon, the good and the bad of both of these platforms, that whether it's branding or Merch by Amazon and Etsy. So the good part of this is that there's no ad costs. You don't have to run ads to get sales, which is pretty cool. There is a consistent sales and revenue stream. So once Etsy and Merch by Amazon know that your product sells well, meaning for every impression there's an X amount of sales, meaning the conversion rate is higher than other products on the platform, then they're going to rank your product higher in the search results for more keywords. You're going to get more sales. And if those keywords are more evergreen, meaning they're searched for consistently every single month, you're going to get more and more consistent sales with this. So the key here is more products equals more sales. So the more designs you have up, the more sales you're going to make. And it's really as simple as that. Etsy does have their own advertising platform, which makes it really easy to actually boost your product listings and get more traffic and get more sales, especially in the beginning part of your business, but you don't actually have to use ads to get sales, which is kind of nice. Also, all niches are okay to go into. So when you're uploading to Etsy and Merch by Amazon, especially with Merch by Amazon, you can do any type of niche that you want, and all you have to do is keep the brand name in your Merch by Amazon listing the same with every niche. So if you're uploading Bigfoot type of products, name it some sort of Bigfoot brand name, and keep that brand name for all the Bigfoot products that you have. So if someone does click on the brand name, they can see all your other products related to that niche. Now, if you're selling on Etsy, you could go with one broad niche, but make sure it is the broad type of niche. You don't want to go into wine, people who love wine, coffee, and dogs, because you're going to be limiting yourself. But if you just go into wine type of products, then that's a great niche because there's just a ton of products, a ton of designs that you could actually create. Now, as far as a general or niche Etsy store, again, I don't think it really matters that much. But what I would say is if you're going to do a general store, make sure your categories are set up correctly. So each category that you post a product in should be that niche. So if you have wine products, then name your category wine. Don't name it, t-shirts, hoodies, all that type of stuff. Just name it whatever the niche is. Also, there's no content needed, so you don't need to build a Facebook page or an Instagram page and build an audience and create content around that. You don't need to get people to trust you. You literally don't need any of that because you're uploading to these platforms that already have the buyer traffic ready for you right there. And it's a relatively easy process. Obviously, you have to learn about keyword research. You have to learn how to create good mockups, how to create good listings, especially on Etsy. You need to learn the upload process and, their policies on these two platforms. But once you have that process down and you have a repeatable process that you can actually teach to another person, you can actually hire out a lot of this stuff. So it makes it relatively easy to grow your sales and grow your revenue, obviously by small amounts at a time every single month, depending on how much you're uploading. But it's a relatively easy process. There's no real critical thinking, I guess I could say, involved in this method. So if you want something simple that's on the side, I think Etsy and Merch by Amazon are a great way to go. Now let's look at the downside of this. You don't actually own your customer info. That means that your business or your side business is a high risk business, because if Etsy or Merch by Amazon decide to take away your account is gone. Your business is gone overnight, and that's not a good thing. And you can't just say, hey, you can't just email your customers and say, hey, I moved to, we created our own store. This is where all our products are now. We're not on Etsy anymore. You can't do that because you don't get the customer info. Etsy and Amazon own those customers. Those are their customers. They're not your customers. So you're literally just renting space on their platform, which is fine. I do this, all right? But just know that it can be taken away at any point. Like I said, I guess I just said that business can be terminated at any time, because if you do one thing against their terms and they don't like that, then they can terminate your store and you're done. And that's it. So you can't sell the business either. So this is something that I actually strive to do in my business, is build something that is actually sellable down the road. So I don't know if sellable is a word, but if I can't sell it, it's going to be really hard to get a really good return on my time and money. So that's why building a brand is so great, because you actually have assets that you can sell, like a website, email lists, social media accounts, all that type of stuff you can actually sell to another person or another company. And with Etsy and Merch by Amazon, they just don't allow that. At least here in 2020, they don't allow it. And you need a high number of products to actually make some decent money at this. And I'm not talking hundreds, I'm talking thousands of products you're going to need to upload to Etsy and Merch by Amazon. There are instances on Etsy where people have, 300, 400, 500 products up and they're doing really, really well, meaning making tens of thousands a month. But still, that process is going to take a long time to actually do. So you're going to need a lot of products uploaded to Merch by Amazon, that's for sure. You're going to need a lot of products uploaded to Etsy, and it's going to take a longer time to build your actual business because you're relying on this organic traffic, and organic traffic just takes time. All right, let's go into the branding side of things. So the good thing about this is you don't need as many products. So you could probably do pretty well with between 10 and 50 different products or 50 different designs for print on demand. And you only need to stick to one niche. So inside the print on demand blueprint, if you want to join that, there's going to be a link somewhere on this page or a video about that if you want to join the print on demand blueprint. Inside the blueprint is the boot camp, which is a 6-week process where I chose a niche and I built a page up to 10K followers. I got my first sales and I recorded everything I did, and I only picked one niche. So it's really easy just to focus on that one niche, figure out what they need and they want, and then sell that to them. Another good thing is you actually control your sales. So you can actually create, usually in a retail environment, let's just say Target, they have like a 6-week, I believe it's a 6-week. Every 6 weeks, they change their sales that are going on in their store. And that's what you could do with your store too. So every couple weeks or 2 to 6 weeks, you could run specials in your store, and you can send out emails saying, hey, we have a sale on this product this week. It's only good through this day, and you can control somewhat at least how many sales you're going to get in that period based on the size of your email list, the size of your audience, etc. Another good thing is you actually own your customers. So you have their email address. Sometimes you're going to have their shipping address and all that kind of stuff. So it's really good because if a platform dies and goes away, like MySpace kind of did, and a bunch of other platforms went away, Google Plus went away, you still actually have access to your customers, even though you don't have that social presence or that social platform anymore. This is definitely more long-term also. So if you enjoy doing something, that's probably something that you want to get into. So if you enjoy knitting, then creating some sort of knitting brand is probably a good idea, because not only do you enjoy it, but it's going to be a lot easier for you to create content around it, to help people in your niche that like knitting, and it's going to be a lot more fun to sell stuff. Plus, you have more options for revenue. So you can do affiliate deals. That's when you're recommending other products. So if you recommend a product on Amazon, you can get a commission for that. You can do digital products. You could sell services. You could sell a lot of different stuff when you build a brand, and it's not just print on demand products, although print on demand products could be one of the revenue sources for your brand. The downside of this is that you do need some investment money. Obviously, with the organic method, you're going to need some money every month also to create the designs through your designer. You're going to spend some time uploading them. So there is investment on that side also. But with branding, you're going to need a little bit more to get started, to really launch your brand so that you have an audience from, the first 30 days that you start. You're also going to need consistent content. So you're going to need to be posting on Facebook, Instagram, all these social platforms, maybe even YouTube, or have a podcast. Now, obviously, you don't want to start with all of these things. You want to start with one of them. I recommend Facebook or Instagram, even a Facebook group. That's really easy to get started and get people inside of a Facebook group. And this is just part of business in 2020 and beyond. You need to be creating content. And if you guys know Gary Vaynerchuk at all, he says you should be a media company first and then sell your product. And that's 100% true. Every time that I create content in my businesses, including the Shuckabuck brand, I see more sales. And that's the bottom line, whether it be sending an email, whether it be uploading a YouTube video, posting on my Facebook page, my Facebook group, Instagram. All of that leads to more traffic, more eyeballs, and ultimately more sales. Also with branding, there's a little more moving pieces, so it's a little harder to keep track of everything. But again, like I said, you want to start with one platform. You want to start with, growing your audience. Then you want to start creating content. Then you want to do the next step and the next step and the next step. And I'll talk a lot more about that here in this print on demand formula course that you're in right now. Now, I say this relatively part because it is relatively harder to get sales this way. It's not like you're just uploading a ton of products and you're getting sales organically. You actually have to work a little bit. You have to gain people's trust in order to get sales from them. All right, so that's why I say it's relatively harder in quotes. But in the long run, it's going to be easier actually to get sales, because once you have that trust, once you build that trust with your audience and they know you and they like you and they enjoy your content, it's actually really easy for them to become a customer. Now, what I want to say before I end this video is a lot of you are probably asking which one is the best, all right? And best is a bad word to describe this, but what I want to say is both methods work well. It does not matter which one you choose. Now, if you have not a lot of time, you don't want to go in and build a brand and create content and build something that you can sell down the road, and you just want some extra money, Etsy and Amazon are the best way to do that. So just right now, just choose Etsy and Amazon, start uploading, start learning about keywords, start learning about the upload process, how to fulfill orders on Etsy, all that type of stuff. And then once you have that process down, make sure you are uploading as much as you can, as often as you can. And that's how you win with that method. But if you want to do the branding route, that's great. There's more videos here in the POD formula, so make sure to watch those. But I do suggest focusing on one method, all right? I've been through this before. I've been where you are if you are just beginning, where there's so much information online that you don't know where to start, and hopefully this course is going to help you with that. But if you just focus on one thing for a long time, you're going to be way better off than focusing on 4 things for a long time, because none of those 4 things will get done. But if you focus just on Etsy, all right, you forgot about Amazon. If you focus just on Etsy for 2 years, I guarantee you that you are going to be doing well in 2 years if you actually do the work. And you have to do it daily, all right? You have to do this every single day. I mean, obviously, you don't have to work on the weekends if you don't want to. You can work a couple hours on this at night. That's fine. Put in 10 to 15 hours a week of work, and in 2 years, I think you're going to be doing really, really well, especially if you have a goal of putting up, 1,000 designs in your first year. That's about 20 designs a week. That's not hard. I like to put it this way. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, 2 of the richest people in the world, they were asked one word to describe why they are so successful, and without knowing each other's answer at the time, they both said focus. So focus is the number one thing that you need in order to be successful. If you are jumping around from business to business to business, you're not going to be successful long term, okay? It's just not going to work. I've been here before. I've done everything. I've done SEO, I've done affiliate marketing, I've done Amazon FBA, I've sold Kindle books, I've sold print-on-demand products, which I still do. I've sold coaching programs, I've sold courses, I've sold literally everything under the sun, from physical, digital, and services online in the last 12 years. And I can say that if I just focused on one of those things, whether it was affiliate marketing or Amazon FBA or starting a podcast or creating YouTube content for my channel or any one of those things, if I just focused on that for the last 12 years, I promise you I would be way better off than I am, especially financially, than I am today. All right. And I do pretty well today. But in the beginning, I was all over the place, especially even just a few years ago, I was kind of all over the place. A few years ago, I had 5 different things going on at one time, and I was getting ready to have our first child. And then I was like, all right, I have to hunker down and do 1, maybe 2 things. And I'm down to 2 things right now. And that is helping people like you who are watching this video. And then I have my own print-on-demand brands, and I do merch by Amazon and Etsy. So those are the 2 things that I focus on, because those are the 2 things that I have time for. So you need to really focus in on what you want to do. If you guys have any questions about what's going on or what I'm going through in this program, in this course, I should say, then make sure to ask in the print on demand community, the Facebook group. You can tag shuckabuck.com. That is the page that I go through with that group. And if you want to tag me, I'll go in and answer any questions you have. There's over 10,000 members in there, so I'll leave a link below this video. So again, if you have any questions, ask in the Facebook group, and I will make sure to chime in and give you some advice going forward.